Hey, what's up and welcome back everyone to another Season 4 video. We are here with the Academy live on Twitch reviewing this right now. So if you guys are excited for Season 4 of Warzone, want to catch it live, I got gigabit internet. I'm going to be downloading it first. You can follow me live over on Twitch and check it out. But we are here right now for the Season 4 patch notes. And I did a quick scroll through. My eyes got really big. There is a lot of weapon tuning that's going to be coming on later on the patch notes. But we're going to get right into it right now as quick as we can. If you guys enjoy this style of content, please do me a favor, drop a like on this video. Subscribe if you want to see more, because I'll be having all the videos from max level of the new guns, all the new POIs happening across the map. I'll have multiple videos coming out over the next 24 hours and throughout the rest of the week. So make sure to stay subscribed for all that content. Call of Duty Warzone Season 4 patch notes. These were just released minutes ago. June 16th update. So they're adding some new things. Let's see. They are adding Verdansk BR Resurgence mini trios. They talked about that in our previous video. They're taking basically Resurgence from the Rebirth and bringing it over to Verdansk. They're removing all those and they're keeping Rebirth quads. Smiley face, because I know how much you guys like quads. I don't play Resurgence, so... Events. We talked about this earlier. The Groundfall limited time event. Find and secure the new Satlink stations to triangulate the location of a falling satellite in Verdansk. Loot the fallen satellites to secure exclusive loot and cash rewards during the game. The objective for this event will reward you with items such as emblems, calling cards, a satellite weapon charm, as well as some XP. Complete all 3 challenges from either Cold War or Warzone, and you'll receive the epic secondary weapon blueprint. Not really sure what that is. We'll talk about that probably when we go through the battle pass and whenever we update the game tonight. What I'm wondering about is if you have to go to all 3 locations, because it says triangulate. Find and secure the new Satlink stations. I know there are multiple. They mentioned there are multiple across Verdansk. Find the fallen satellites to score exclusive loot. But then the interesting part is to triangulate the location of a falling satellite in Verdansk. So I wonder if we're going to be able to look up in the air and see something, or if that's going to be a mid-season event. We'll have to stay tuned for that. Mode. So this is a new mode that we were just talking about, Verdansk Mini, or Verdansk Resurgence Mini, a bite-sized FPS survival experience. In addition to the standard Rebirth Island Resurgence rules, there's no gulag, extreme clarity on the position of an enemy upon elimination of a squad member. So when you kill a squad member, it'll pop up on your minimap. A resurgence timer and special supply boxes. This new playlist features lobby sizes of up to 45 operators, depending on the squad size. The first circle is skipped, and games are shorter on length on average, and there is higher tier loot when compared to the traditional VR. Thanks, Twitch chat. Love you guys. So they mentioned you're going to actually have a lot more money in these modes. So this is going to be a great mode if you're trying to try out new loadouts, especially when we're talking later with all the weapon tuning changes. This could be a great opportunity to see what they look like, not necessarily in Plunder, but in the actual game. Battle Pass. Players can now spend COD points to gift Cold War content to friends, including a Battle Pass and store bundles via the Call of Duty Companion app and their website. You have to have 2-factor authentication set up, but we are going to be doing giveaways on Twitter, so make sure you're following my Twitter. That'll be in the description. If you are interested in getting some, let's say you have a blueprint that you want to find, or you have Battle Pass skips that you want to buy, we'll be doing giveaways on Twitter. Unfortunately, I can gift you those individual ones. We're not going to go through all these, but it looks like we're going to have a legendary AK-47, a legendary Type 63, a Bullfrog, another Adler skin, KSP-45, who actually uses that, a MAC-10, AK-74U, legendary sniper rifle Charlie, I think that's the ZRG, Power, and the MG82, which is new this season. And then we're also getting the legendary C58, which I believe is the new FAL equivalent for Cold War. And we also get some dirt bike skins. We're going to be talking about that later. Map. Red doors have appeared in Verdansk. That's one of the first videos that we're going to check out tonight. So if you want to see what the red doors look like, once again, make sure to subscribe here. We will be talking about that and exploring those today. The downtown tower is now under new management. They mentioned that in the previous patch notes, where the downtown vault is now open, but it doesn't have the loot, the specialist. It's under new management, but the downtown tower is staying. There's a new gulag. It's hijacked now. We saw a little preview of that from a trailer earlier today. The plywood recreation of the yacht central area will replace the current standoff gulag. So it's not all of hijack, for those of you that are familiar with it. It's only the central hubs of it. A new satellite crash POI has been added. Here we know. We know exactly where they are. Right in Krovnik farmland, right in the middle of some poor farmer's crops and one crashed satellite, is the fuselage split into multiple parts amid the field. Block 18. Closer to one sleepy village near the salt mine lies another downed satellite. Its location leaves it open to operators parachuting down from the radar array. Interesting. And deep down within the Gora riverbed near Airport Control Tower, a more intact satellite sits ready to be explored. The Gora Bridge, spanning the Gora River between downtown and Fire Station. Where is that? Gora River between downtown Fire Station 12. Oh, right outside of like the right outside of the park or the carnival. In the Promenade Fairgrounds, this bridge saw a direct impact from the down satellite, taking out a chunk of its bridge work. Nice. They don't mention anything about it, but apparently in support of Pride Month, they're adding some Pride flags. So sweet, awesome. General, they added 120 hertz support for PS5. Make sure you got HDMI 2.1 connected. Good news. Still waiting on that FOV slider for my console players. Down players who disconnect will now provide kill credit and drop loot. This includes players who disconnect during a finishing move. Let's go. Beforehand, I'll be honest, I've backed out during a finishing move in progress and definitely robbed their kill, but now that no longer will be a thing. Progression challenges, font size for challenges, and we're not really worried about that. Oh, there it is. The addition of 8 new LGBTQIA+ Pride flags in support of Pride Month. Good stuff. Gameplay. They added a new vehicle, a dirt bike. Terror on two-wheel arrives in Warzone. Ramp up your off-road antics with this extremely maneuverable scrambler scattered across Verdansk and ready to use at the start of a match. Speed. It's faster than all vehicles, including the previous fastest, the ATV. Actually, the attack rover was fastest. Handling. You can drift at high speed, which offers finer control at low speeds. Mastery is key. Durability is low, same health as the ATV. Capacity, 2 operators, 1 driver, 1 passenger. Next to no room to stack operators atop, such as with the 2-passenger ATV. So it'll be difficult to stack. It doesn't say it's impossible, though. And trophy system placement must stand atop the bike to place a trophy system. One can fit one on the saddle or on the front and rear fenders. So in the saddle or the front and rear fenders. Loot spawns that across Verdansk have been adjusted as follows. Interesting, because we're thinking about ground loot here. The C-58 Black Ops Cold War and the MG-82 can be found in the loot pool. The combat bow kill streak has been added to the loot pool, which frankly is terrible. I've used it. Don't even waste your time. It's going to cost you. And self-revive spawn rate has been reduced. That's one thing a lot of people have talked about. That's great news. I don't mind seeing it in orange crates, and obviously I love getting it for free. But in the early game, it can really throw off your pace if you're not expecting someone to have a self-revive. 1911 Black Ops Cold War starter handgun now requires 3 hits to gain bonus finisher damage instead of 2. This change will hit the number of melee hits. Let's go! They nerfed the melee. The 1911 Black Ops Cold War handgun now requires 3 hits to gain the bonus finisher damage. You guys know there are times where you can melee and then throw in the elbow and 2 hit someone with full health. Let's freaking go. It now takes 3 guaranteed. Snapshot grenade. Oh my god, please, please, please let me see stuns on here. Reveal duration increase from 1.25 to 2 seconds. Hit enemies are now also revealed to your squad. One of the reasons I never ran a snapshot grenade is it wasn't viable for your squad. They didn't get any value out of it. This completely changes that. This might actually be worth, let's say instead of running stuns, more like in the custom scene where stuns may be GA'd, or gentleman's agreement, basically where you're not allowed to use it if you play in the customs. This could be awesome. Custom mods. Custom mods have been enabled for Black Ops Cold War weapons. Thank you. You haven't been able to save them in the past. And some thoughts on the specialist token. Ooh. We want exciting items like specialist token in Warzone. However, the ease and consistency of its acquisition was problematic. Ideally, drop locations are allowed to be chosen dynamically based on several factors like circle location, infill route, and player preference. When we introduced an exclusive, powerful item that can only be obtained at one location and may have a warping effect on gameplay that can diminish early game strategy. Agreed. We would also like to ensure that there is excitement surrounding opening caches or completing contracts no matter where you are on the map. In order to achieve that, we need to have items that are exceedingly rare but do not have targeted methods of acquisition. We may see the specialist token again, perhaps sooner than you might think, but it will be rebalanced in such a way that offers neither weapon perks nor drops on death. Interesting. So it won't offer weapon perks like sleight of hand. That's fine. FMJ, that's fine. Focus, that's fine. It doesn't drop on death though. I don't necessarily like that as much. But it would be cool if there's like a mid-game event similar to like the red crates that would drop in PUBG. a crate would drop in the middle of the map. It would spawn up red smoke. And if you went after it, you could possibly be taken out. But you could get something awesome like, you know, a badass sniper rifle or really nice armor. I think they're onto something here. I'm glad to see it coming back with a little bit more balance. Bug fixes. Fix some dev errors of 5573. Still looking for a dev error 6661 solution if anyone's got one. Hey, it fixed a issue where the player's downed movement speed would remain slow after being partially revived by a teammate. You know, if someone would tap you, you'd all of a sudden go really slow. That's awesome. Let's see if there's anything else big here. Fix an issue where pings on enemies would disappear and no audio would play. Fantastic. There was a ping issue where pings weren't going up for your teammates. That's great. A lot of stuff in Rebirth Island. Some pretty small stuff in there, but there are a few nice little fixes in there. UI, UX, social, and more. Friends lists have now improved responsiveness. Thank goodness. It's only a AAA game in 2021. They added the ability for players to favorite up to 14 operators. Okay. And let's be honest, no one's really switching off of Roze. They added the ability for filter operators based on favorites and sort according to faction. Yeah. Added the ability for players to preview skins and customization menu. Added the ability for players to play a game with the team. Awesome. For guys who are randoming with random players. That's great news. And the weapons. This is what we were really excited for. New weapons, Black Ops Cold War, the MG82 light machine gun. This is coming at launch week, and it's also available via Blueprint. I will 100% be max leveling my battle pass, dropping $100, getting it ASAP so I can let you guys know whether or not it's worth it in a max level video coming later this week. The C58 is the FAL Cold War that we see right there. Obtain the C58 for free at tier 31. MG82 is at tier 15. The nail gun. Oh, wow. It's available at launch week, too. Obtained via challenge unlock or via Blueprint in the store. Baseball bat. And then the OT9 comes later in season. This was one that they talked about. It had the extreme fire rate with limited magazine capacity. And then the mace is coming in season as well. Holy paragraph. In a future patch, we will be making sweeping balance changes to weapons. Let us take a moment to discuss the philosophy behind that decision. At a higher level, Warzone is all about engagements. The more time we allot to mechanical and strategic expression within engagements, the higher the skill ceiling and the longer our personal journey of mastery. I agree. Time to kill has been way too fast, and they've been dialing back time to kill in that effort along this philosophy. We believe that the frequency of these engagements and how we navigate them heavily contributes to the overall level of fun. And I love the words they're using here. Mechanical and strategic expression, navigating gunfights. It's not just so straightforward running into a wall. We want to enable more escapes from impossible situations, moments of finesse, epic outplays, and opportunities to flex exquisite marksmanship. Due to some weapons being far more lethal than others in the class, we feel the reduction of efficacy of those outliers is necessary. We expect these changes will bring an average time to kill up by approximately 60 to 100 milliseconds. These changes will not only increase the overall capacity for skill expression, but should also introduce some weapons into viability that have not yet had the chance to shine. Let's go, baby! We will begin laying the groundwork for the upcoming balance overhaul with the following adjustments. Okay, whoa. In a future patch, they're making sweeping balance changes, but they're laying the groundwork with this? So they're still going. This is the groundwork? Oh my goodness. Amax Nerf, Groza buff, Scar buff, XM4 buff, Amp 63 mega buff, Ballistic Knife mega buff, Streetsweeper mega nerf. Oh my god, these are the greatest fucking patch notes ever. Right tech buff, Swiss, AUG buff, Bullfrog, KSP buff, Milano big buff, Bullfrog buff, DMR buff. Oh. Can I get some likes in chat? Because I know I'm going to be fighting J-God for this video. So if you guys are excited, please do me a favor, drop a fat like on this video. CR56 Amax, exactly what I tweeted about this today. Nerf the chest damage. They did it, dude. The upper torso damage multiplier decreased from 1.2 to 1.1. One of the biggest issues with the Amax was not the chest, or was not the headshot damage, extremity damage. And where you're shooting, center mass was way too powerful. The real strength of the CR56 Amax laid out in its long-range viability and the consistency of its time to kill. While we have made several moves to reduce its power level, the third time is in fact the charm. We love the CR56 Amax, and we will likely see its return in future when massive balance overhaul takes place. Though for now, we would like to shake up the long range space and see what rises to the top. Let's be honest, 1.2 to 1.1 isn't going to completely put this gun into the floor. It's still going to be extremely viable. However, and chat is celebrating right now. However, I think it's going to put it more in line when we start looking at time to kill charts. True Game Data is going to have his hands full this next couple of weeks, but it's going to be really, really nice. Groza, the minimum damage increased from 18 to 23. Wow. Well, I guess that could be at range. Maybe it had a really bad damage range drop off. Upper torso multiplier increased from 1.1 to 1.2. Lower torso increased from 1.1 to 1.1. And maximum damage rate increased by 12%. So it looks like they're making the Groza much more viable at range, but it has some pretty shaky recoil, so I'm going to see if that even makes it still possible to use. As a relatively low-firing, low-damage assault rifle, it's no surprise that the Groza has underperformed since its preemptive balance adjustment at the beginning of Season 3. This should tune up a bit to put it in a solid position in short of mid-range mobility-based AR builds. So this might put it, like I said, it's got a left to right shake. It doesn't have like an up and to the left or just a straight up. It's got a back and forth, but this could put it in a really good position to contest with something like the XM4 or the AK. It could be a really good sniper support. The assault rifle Golf, Modern Warfare. Neck damage multiplier increased from 1.1 or 1 to 1.5. Upper torso damage increased from 1 to 1.2. Wow. We would like to avoid increasing the level of equipping, to the point where we would need to reduce it shortly after in the balance overhaul. With that being said, the assault rifle Golf, the SCAR, they can't say the SCAR because it's licensed, but I can say SCAR, may soon see another power increase in the near future, but we think an improvement to its average time to kill is a good place to start. Give me a larger magazine, please. But we're going to be running some solos with this to get some buffed gameplay. XM4 Black Ops Cold War. The neck damage multiplier increased from 1 to 1.5. We consider increases to neck damage multipliers a small buff realistically, as they make landing headshots only slightly more likely. We feel the XM4 Black Ops Cold War is close to being in a great spot. We were aiming for this change to get it there. Wow. XM4 was already very strong. A lot of pro players are using it as their secondary. The AK has a better time to kill, but with something that's a little bit more steady, if you dedicate the headshots with this, that could be very, very dangerous. Handguns, AMP-63, Black Ops Cold War, maximum damage increase. This is the full auto pistol here, so I'm not super excited about this. Damage range increased to 14%. Upper torso buffed. Extremities buffed. Headshot nerfed. Okay. The AMP-63 did not have its fastest time to kill improved by these changes. Okay. Rather, its TTK breakpoints were shifted around, and its second damage range was pushed out. Okay. A movie fall was necessary to help limit its offset, limited magazine capacity, and rate of fire. These changes should provide another compelling secondary weapon alongside the Psychov to complement non-overkill loadouts. Okay. So they're basically making it more viable at range. I don't really think handguns should be that good anyways. You should have to rock overkill or find a secondary weapon so you don't get ghost off rip, but hey. The ballistic knife, Black Ops Cold War. The projectile velocity is increased by 25%. The neck damage has increased to 1 to 1.3. Upper torso has increased from 1 to 1.23, and movement speed has been increased. Hey man, I haven't even seen this once in Warzone. The ballistic knife will become a desirable selection for melee aficionados following these changes, with additional mobility and improved projectile velocity and a more generous location multiplier. Letting someone wielding the ballistic knife get too close is a mistake you will only make once or twice per game. Gulag. Shotguns. Streetsweeper. Maximum damage range decreased by 24%. Second damage range decreased by 18%. Third damage range decreased by 7%. Movement speed decreased by 1%. I love seeing this, especially after what we saw with the most recent customs tournament. And I've been plagued by this gun way too many times. See ya. Streetsweeper. You will not be missed. The Streetsweeper has one of the best short-range kill-death ratios of any weapon in Warzone. The issue is with the right attachments that lethal range could be stretched out to further than we would like. The Streetsweeper will be very, very deadly at close range, but will now require a few extra steps closer if you want to maximize its effectiveness. Awesome. Sniper Rifle Charlie. Let me double-check, make sure I'm not... I think this is the... Chat, back me up. Is this the right tech? M82. God, you guys are so smart and handsome. You guys should do this for a living. Bullet velocity increased by 7.7%. Upper torso, someone chat said Gallo. Upper torso damage multiplier increased from 1.1 to 1.25. Lower torso increased from 1. Okay, that's fine. It's never really been much of a gun anyways. I think the bullet velocity was much needed. In a previous patch, the sniper rifle Charlie underwent a change to its identity. Now a slower firing sniper rifle, we feel its necessity to increase its damage and bullet velocity to compensate more adequately. We'll be keeping a close eye to ensure it occupies this role successfully. Beforehand, you were able to fire this gun very quickly, but it was really awkward and it just didn't make any sense. And so they just made a radical change where they buffed the bullet velocity a lot, they slowed the fire rate a lot, and now they're giving a little bit more damage as well. But the big thing with all these is making sure you're hitting your headshots, and the bullet velocity may help out with that. Hey, the Swiss, the base optic functionality improved. So talking about the original optic, the little white chevron that you guys are used to seeing, the base reticle has been updated. Hopefully it's just a standard crosshair. Submachine guns. The Submachine Gun Alpha Modern Warfare. Oh, it's the AUG. AUG, Bullfrog, KSP, Milano. See, they've got all these legal things that I can't say what it is. Upper torso damage went from 1 to 1.1. Maximum damage range increased by 10%. The Submachine Gun Alpha has a ludicrously fast time to kill when landing all headshots within its maximum damage range. However, outside of those two conditions, it performed far less reliably than its peers. While we do not expect this change to jettison the Submachine Gun Alpha to the top of the SMG viability, we're positioning to excel in the upcoming balance overall. If you guys remember, if you take the 5.56 modification of the AUG, it's one of the fastest killing weapons in the game. So, but as a base SMG, they're trying to give it more range and a little bit more damage. Bullfrog. Iron sight positions have been adjusted. These should allow for better ADS visibility without optics. In my previous Bullfrog videos, I had to run optics because I hated the iron sights. Great change on their part. I'm excited to see what that looks like because the Bullfrog is very, very nice. Great change. KSP 45, who uses this gun? Maximum damage range increased and extremities multiplier increased. The KSP 45 has a fast time to kill potential in so much that when considering how to increase its effectiveness, we were concerned not to push it too hard for fear of making it too dominant. It's understandable why you would want to steer clear of a short to mid-range burst fire weapon considering how low the margin of error is for that engagement range. However, two well-placed bursts with a KSP will put someone out of commission faster than you might expect. I'm not too worried. Honestly, burst weapons at close range, if you miss a single shot out of that burst, now all of a sudden you have to wait for the burst cycle to get to that next damage. Cold War MP5 is still going to be king. Milano 821 Black Ops Cold War. Maximum damage increase from 34 to 36. Minimum increase from 25 to 20. Damage range increased by 23%. 1 to 1.2 for the lower 1 to 1.1. Extremities 0.9 to 1. Wow. The Milano needed a lot of love for it to reach a semi-viable state. We'll see how it shapes up over the first half of Season 4 and make any necessary changes at this time. I personally like the Milano. It's weird. It's got a really weird cadence when you shoot it, but the iron sights are clean, and it sounds cool suppressed. We'll see. We'll see. Submachine Gun Echo Modern Warfare. I want to make sure I'm not... PP Bison. Maximum damage increase from 34 to 35 and 0.9 to 0.1. Not really much. Yeah, I still think the Bullfrog is going to be significantly more viable. Oh, no. DMR 14. Recoil magnitude decreased. You still can't two-headshot, though. You still can't two-headshot with the DMR. That's not going to be an issue. Even after it's falling out, the DMR 14 is still a respectable choice with the right attachments. A little bump to help stay on target at a distance should help the DMR 14 hold its own in the mid to long range competition. I think that's needed. It's really been so terrible that I wouldn't even touch it. So I think that's fine. Man, these are some thick patch notes. Do me a favor, if you haven't dropped a like already, make sure to drop a like on today's video. Barrels, combat recon. Bullet velocity increased for the Pellington. Increased for the M82, increased for the Swiss, increased for the Tundra, and increased for the ZRG. These changes will bring the longest Black Ops Cold War weapons and sniper rifles much closer to parity with the Modern Warfare equivalents. Ranger. We typically use a Ranger on something like the Krieg. Now increases bullet velocity by 50%. Now it increases vertical recoil control, so it's more control, by 15%, and increases hip fire spread by 20. Wow. If you have not tried out my Krieg class, now might be a good time. Especially after the Amax nerf. Krieg's probably going to be meta until they do this massive overhaul. Krieg is very, very close to being one of the best weapons in the game. It's better than the Amax at the extremities. I believe at the stomach and the head. I think the only place it was better than was at the chest. The Amax was better at the chest, but they just nerfed the Amax at the chest. And now they buffed the Ranger barrel. Telling you boys, try the Krieg. Takedown, effective damage range by 35%, horizontal by 20, and hip fire by 20. Match grade. So I mean, I don't really know what to make out of these, you know, because it could have been increase the bullet velocity from 30 to 50. I don't know what it was beforehand, so I can't really give profound judgments on these. I'm gonna have to rely on guys like True Game Data and JGod who know. Let's say it increases horizontal recoil control by 7.5%. It might have been 2.5. I'm not going to make any sweeping judgments here. I'm really not sure we'll rely on this. Recoil control has long been a detractor of long-range viability in Black Ops Cold War weapons. Yeah, recoil has been really tough. These changes will help alleviate that and provide a more diverse selection of weapons in that engagement space. Awesome. So some of these, for example, if we take the Ranger, where it helps out with the vertical recoil control, could be really helping out something like the Cold War AK-47, which has an incredible time to kill, but has been too shaky for too long to be viable. So this is where, with that in mind, guns that were too shaky with Cold War might not be. Most Black Ops Cold War reticles have been updated. Axial arms 3 times, optics position have been shifted, and same with 4 times. Yikes, I wonder if you're missing shots. And then underbarrels, bruiser grips for the snipers. Aiming stability has been increased. Okay. So for snipers in Cold War, you're going to have less weapon sway, which I am all about. Operators, Roze skin has received material updates to increase visibility. My buddy Spiros was messing around. He was joking and laughing, saying that they need to attach glow sticks. But Roze has been nerfed. Oh my gosh, chat. This update has everything. This update, please adjust dead silence. They're not going to adjust stuns. We already got past that part. Unfortunately, they're not adjusting stuns, but please adjust dead silence, and I will be so happy. New operators. We talked about those in the previous video. Oh, and we're on the downloads. For Warzone, 11 gigs, 11 gigs, 11 gigs. PC, it's going to be 12. Bummer. What an absolutely insane patch notes. I'm thrilled. I don't think they went in the wrong direction with anything. Everything that they were saying philosophically, I was totally behind. Longer time to kills, less recoil on the Cold War guns, bringing everything else more in line. They're nerfing the guns, and they've kind of they were talking about how they put the baseline at 60 milliseconds to 100 milliseconds slower, which gives us more time for finesse, outplays, which as this game is going on, that we need a skill gap. They heavy nerfed the streetsweeper, slightly nerfed the Amax, bringing some new guns in, and this is just the beginning. They said this is the groundwork for some crazy overhauls that are going to be coming, which is going to be absolutely insane. Ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite change is coming. I'm looking back over these, and I am super excited. If you want to be the first to see things like the new satellite crash sites, the new red doors, and you want to see things like new max level weapons in the new metas that are coming to Warzone, please do me a favor, drop a like on this video and subscribe. And for especially during update season, ring the freaking notification bell so you find out what weapons are going to be the best, where you need to drop for all the new spots. And without further ado, make sure to join me over on Twitch, because I posted this video and we are still playing and grinding over on Twitch. We're going to be downloading the update instantly, and get to join this party. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.